What's up, my friends? Welcome to the live stream. You may notice a few little changes, a different camera angle, of course. We've got a fancier new mic. We got the Shure mic. You heard so much about it. It was like, you know what? You got to try this thing out. Still got some kinks to work out to get everything dialed in perfectly, but, you know, we got some awesome stuff. We also have a fancy little mixer going on over here where I can control the audio levels. I can add sound effects. I can do all sorts of stuff. I haven't fully configured it either, but we'll work on it, right? We'll have some things that will kind of integrate into this. I also want to change up the show eventually. That may be a thing that has to wait until January, maybe, though. Maybe the live stream towards the end of the year. I don't know. We'll have to kind of play with things and see how soon I'll be able to get things ready. But we'll work on it, right? So this is the first day with a little bit of that taste of new stuff. I would like to eventually make it to where Chaos Live is a show, not just me sitting here yakking for an hour answering you guys' questions, even though that's helpful, and that probably still would be a part of the other thing, but it needs to be better. And I want to make it better for you guys. So let's get into the notification platoon. We got Rooster, we got Edward, we've got Wyatt, we got Evie, we've got VGMR, one of our Chaos Army commanders. Appreciate you guys. We've got, who else do we have? John, Franco, Cop. We've got Larry. We've got Doug the Eliminator, also one of our Chaos Army commanders. Thank you, my friend. We've got Old Reliable, McBenz, Carlos. Was it Chicken Eugene? We got Anderson. Is it Aaliyah Anderson? I'm horrible with names, by the way. If you guys are new to Chaos Live, you should know now that I may butcher your names. Okay, so sometimes I try to do my best. We've got Jim Martinez. We got Alex Perez. I think I covered it for the most of the first early people. Jake Smith says, sorry, I'm late. You're still pretty good. All right, so we're here. What's happening? So we're here to have a great time. I see some people saying nice and crisp from VGMR for the mic. So awesome. Some people saying it's good. Okay, so awesome. So sounds good. But yeah, there's still some things got to dial in a little bit. But nonetheless, let's get into the real reason why we're here, right? Which is to answer your guys' awesome Army questions. Whatever you got, you make sure you leave that stuff in the chat, and I'll do my best to be able to provide you with that information if I know it, obviously. If I don't, then, you know, maybe there's other places you can go. I don't know. But we got that going on. We have the road to 100K. We'll have entries to where you can be able to enter into the contest, and at the end of the month, which would be probably the end of the year, probably stream, we'll do a giveaway. We'll give away $100 in Amazon gift card, so maybe you have a chance to do so. There's a link down in the description box down below that kind of includes a link to more information about the contest, how you can make sure you're registered. If you've been registered from the previous October and November giveaway that we already did, then you're good to go still. But if this is your first time here for this giveaway, then make sure you get at one point get registered with that at some point in time, because I need your email address so I know where to send the gift card if you are the winner. If you've already won, can't win again. I'm sorry. You know, you already won, then only one winner per this contest, and then future contests you can still have a chance to win. But nonetheless, let's get into some questions. If you have questions, leave them in the chat. If I blow past your question because sometimes it gets really busy, make sure that ask it again. Make sure that I've, you know, maybe haven't gotten there yet, then give me some time to get to that question. But if it ends up being a thing where I skip it, you can ask it again. Just don't spam the chat. If by chance I don't get to it at all, then make sure you hit me up via Instagram, link in the bio or the description box down below. Just go follow me and you can hit me up over there and I'll answer your question there. So let's get into some stuff, huh? Let's see. Let's see what Wyatt's got here. I tried to get rather cheery during the holidays, mainly because it gives me an excuse to blast Christmas music through the house. How is this holiday season treating in the Army? Really curious. I mean, it's good. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. I'm not a big fan of like holiday music. We might, I don't know. I was gonna say we might like maybe add holiday music in the background, but I think it's weird. I don't think we'll do holiday music in the background. But yeah, I mean, that's cool. Good deal. I like VGMR is talking about anyone who rolls in after me is late for formation. Agreed. By the way, we have a like goal. I got it down at the bottom down there. 100 likes. We try to get to 100 likes before the end of the stream. Currently at 21, so we got a little ways to go. But make sure you hit that like button if you have a good time here. Let's come down. Cop asking, would you recommend going JROTC in high school before joining the U.S. Army? Yeah, I mean, if it has that program available, sure. It's a good thing. You get a little bit of kind of heads up as to like certain things like rank structure, a little bit of the DNC, a few of the things like the just basics of being in the Army. So it helps. Plus, if you haven't, depending on how long you do in JROTC, you can possibly come in at a higher rank, which means you start getting paid better right from the beginning. So that's still pretty good. But yeah, even if it wasn't the case where you didn't necessarily get the extra rank when you came in, I think the experience is still pretty good to where you still get a chance to learn about the Army and kind of help you prepare for those kind of things. So that's pretty good, I think, still, nonetheless. What's up, Larry? How's it going? Doug? Old Reliable says what's up. What's this? Oh, we're talking about this story from earlier. Okay, we'll move on from that. Some of these are still some of the early stuff before we even started the stream. The stream hadn't even started on some of this stuff yet. Let's see. Always good to hang out. Thanks, Jim. Do the Army pay for college and how? Sort of. There's ways that they kind of do. So it depends on what you're talking about. Like if you're trying to go to college first and then go to the Army, then no. I mean, they have ROTC scholarships, and if you get ROTC scholarship, then maybe. But yeah, so like if you go, let's say you did 5 years, 6 years, whatever the case was, right? You get out, you have like different GI Bill options, different ways to kind of be able to use college options, and they will pay you for your school, and they will also pay you, I think it's like E5 pay, or E5 BAH, not E5 pay, but E5 BAH for your area, kind of a thing, or something like that. I forget how it works. I used it. I got like an associate's degree with mine, but you get some pay. It may not. I mean, sometimes it depends on how you're living. I guess it may be enough to live off of, right? They're paying for your school, and then the BAH is helpful. Some people still have to get like some kind of part-time job or something. It just kind of depends, I guess, how much it's expensive. So you can kind of do it that way. While you're in, if you get an option to go to do college option, then you can do that, and that gets paid for while you're still in the Army, but you usually have to re-enlist for that. So it's a little bit harder to get that one. But yeah, there's ways that they can pay for it. Either harder to do it while you're in unless you're re-enlisting for it, but you can also kind of do it when you get out and use like the GI Bill or the Montgomery GI Bill, or the post 9/11 GI Bill and the Montgomery GI Bill, those two. Do you watch DK videos? Sometimes I've seen some of them. First of all, thank you for your service. Second, what division were you in? I guess it depends on which unit you're talking about, right? First division when I was in Fort Riley, Kansas. I think when I was in Korea, I think it was just falls under 8th Army, I think is what JSA's fell under. Then when I came to Fort Carson, then when I was 3rd ACR, that was the division, was 3rd ACR. Well, it's not a division, it's like it's a squadron or whatever, or regiment. And then I went to 4th Infantry Division after I got on. That was my last one. So I guess that kind of explains it. I don't know. It's a little bit off-putting. Like I hear myself in the headphones. I could turn that down and stuff like that, but it kind of makes me more conscious of like how loud I'm speaking. So how does it sound? Does the sound still sound pretty good and okay? It doesn't seem like it's too low, too loud. Love to hear from you guys. It's just kind of weird hearing myself. Normally I don't hear myself because normally I'm not wearing headphones, and it's just, the new setup is it's kind of a little bit takes adjusting to get used to, I think. New mic kind of sounds like Howard Stern. We can also change like effects too. Like I have effects.
Like we can go like this, and I can have like a high pitched voice, or I can go and we can switch it
to right here, and I can have a really deep voice. We kind of have that. I think there's.
This one's like a slightly different voice. or is it more like a megaphone but different voice? I don't know. There's a lot of different options that you can kind of do.
Yeah, there you go. How about that?
There's just some tweaking I still got to do with some of those voice stuff and mods and different things. Chris, have you been to Germany? I'm getting sent to, was it Wiesbaden? I don't know how to pronounce that, in March. I have been to Germany as a civilian, like on vacation when I was younger, but I have never been to Germany as like a deployment or like as a duty station. So I don't really know what it's like. I've heard great stories about it. A lot of people I've talked to loved being in Germany. So I would imagine you probably have a great time. Hopefully, I don't know if COVID messes a lot of that stuff up probably still. So that's kind of usually the hard part. But yeah. If you had to choose as a high schooler, would you go to the Army directly after high school or go to college first? I have a video that kind of talks about that. I have that video that talks about like the differences between enlisted and officer and the kind of the comparisons, which one's better kind of a thing, like officer versus enlisted. And my recommendation in that video is to go enlisted first, get your experience, because you get a lot of great experience as an enlisted soldier. And then if you still want to be an officer, then go green to gold. Check out that video if you want, but I think a lot of it still comes down to personal preference as far as what you want to accomplish and what your goals are in the Army, to decide if you should go directly after high school and just go enlisted, or if you should go college first and come in that way. I mean, you could still even do college first and still come in as enlisted, just come in as a specialist, and then you get a little bit easier of a transition to the officer side because you already have the 4-year degree knocked out. So yeah, I mean, you could. So I think it just comes down to personal preference sometimes. What does the military intelligence branch do? I was never intelligence. Me do intelligence stuff, right? Something like that. I don't know. I don't know the down and dirty too well of what their mission is and what the intelligence stuff is going to be going on. Can I ask a question about Army JROTC in high school? I mean, you can try. I never did JROTC in high school, so might be limited on my availability of answers. My ship date is after the holidays. My family keeps asking what they can get me to help when I leave. Anything useful you can think of? Have them pay for your cell phone bill while you're gone. You can do that. Be like, for Christmas, I want you to pay for my cell phone bill while I'm gone. Otherwise, I mean, there's not a whole lot of stuff you can usually bring with you to basic training. I mean, you have your basic necessities, your hygiene stuff, and everything. But I don't know. I don't know if anything. I mean, that might be a good one. Just have them pay for your cell phone bill. Maybe wait until you get done with basic training and everything like that. See what you really need. And maybe a gift card you can use some money for. Maybe just gift cards. There you go. My recruiter says I should join the reserves. I mean, that's up to you. I feel like that's a good one, like for someone who wants to go to college while they're still in, because then it's basically like having a part-time job, but also having a full-time job. So the Army is your part-time job, and then whatever your other job is, you can do that, or school, whichever one you're doing, either the job or school. So it's good for that, right? But if you want your full-time job to be the Army, then you should go active duty. So it really just depends on what your plans are and what you want to do. How are we doing on likes? 31 likes. So make sure you take a look down below if you have not liked the stream yet. Hit that like button. Opinion of military police, they're good. Fine. I guess I don't have an opinion, really. See, like, here is a prime example right here, buddy. Where's this Alex? Where are you at, Alex? What did I say? What did I say at the beginning of the stream, right? Don't spam your questions. I answered your question. If you didn't pay attention to it earlier, then you missed it. So I can't help you. I will not be answering your question again. I see you spammed it like 10 times or so. That is a good key thing what not to do. If you want your questions answered, don't do what that guy did, because I probably won't answer any more of his questions. That's how it goes. I gave the rules at the beginning. If you can follow the rules, that's how it goes. During which phase of OSIT do you have to pass your ACFT? I don't know a specific phase. It's usually a few weeks into it. You'll have usually one at the very beginning that you'll do. And then you'll have, that's kind of like your diagnostic type of one, just to see where you're at. And the drill sergeants know where you're at. And then somewheres later, usually about midpoint, I think is when they usually do it, to make sure you have time. That way they have time for people who fail to be able to have another chance to be able to pass it, hopefully, in the future. So usually somewhere around like that kind of a time frame. The exact phase and exact week, I really couldn't tell you, but you'll do one at the beginning. So this is mainly a diagnostic one. Then somewhere's probably in the middle, you have the one that really counts. But if you fail it, you should have another chance another time. What is it? Is there anything you would change in your Army career? I don't know. I mean, like reclassing to like a video production type of thing would have been cool. But my intent was always never to really like stay in the Army for a long time. So then that would probably mean that I would need to stay in the Army longer. And that was never really my case, or never my interest. But maybe I could have done something like I re-enlisted. Maybe I should have re-enlisted for another, I don't know. I don't know if I really have anything. Most of this time, the stuff went pretty good. The only thing that I kind of wish I would have done is I wish I would have traveled more, like a vacation. I would always go home for vacation when I would take leave. So it's not really specifically dedicated to my career, but my time in the Army. I wish I would have, spent a few of my vacations doing something cool and traveling somewhere and checking something out. But career-wise, I don't really know. I'm pretty happy with the career for the most part. We got stuff about the microphone, which sounds good. What is the difference between being on CQ and staff duty? So it's just really the location, really, and probably some of the higher ups that'll be seeing you. So like when you're on CQ, that's in the barracks. So you just be in the barracks, pulling CQ and making sure that everything's okay in the barracks. So that way, if something happens, like a fire, then someone's there to be able to, call the fire department, or soldiers acting up in the barracks, whatever. People trying to break into the barracks, unauthorized people in the barracks. So it's a lot of the barracks stuff, right? CQ is all in the barracks. So you usually have like an E5 and then some lower enlisted soldiers that'll be with that E5, that sergeant. Whereas your staff duty is usually an E5 promotable or a staff sergeant. At most units, they may vary based on the criteria, but that's usually pretty thing. But you have staff duty at the battalion level, brigade level, division level, all sorts of ones. And that one's usually a little bit, you're in front of more people, right? Because in the barracks, especially like if it's like a Monday, right, for example, well, it's pretty dull during the day because everybody's at work and you're just sitting there in the barracks during the daytime. Some units won't have a CQ during the daytime and they don't have them come until a little later, so they haven't worked during the day, but that just varies. But with staff duty, you're going to be in front of like the commander for the battalion or the division, whatever you're doing, the sergeant major, all the higher ups. You're like the reception desk for the whatever level you're doing at, battalion, division, whatever. And so it's a little bit more eyes on you compared to the barracks. So it's a little bit more stricter usually with staff duty compared to CQ. CQ is usually a little easier than staff duty is. Did they ever shut off the cold water on you in boot camp? I don't think I ever had that. Or shut off the hot water, is that what you're saying? No, I don't think I ever remember that. What happens to 11 Bravo when there isn't war going on? They do a shit ton of training. Doing a lot of training, you go in the field, you probably get stuck with details, which everybody gets stuck with details. So you just kind of notice it more because you're not doing anything else but these crappy details and then training and stuff like that. So it just kind of sucks sometimes. But that's a common thing, is that, they might have some time where they're going to the field. If they're not in the field, then they might be doing some training around the area. Sometimes just doing it in the motor pool, in the parking lot and whatever, doing some training. They're doing some crappy details. I've also known a lot of people, they would just go to the gym a lot. So they're like, oh, we don't have anything going on, so we're going to do PT twice a day because we got to kill some time. So a lot of that kind of stuff. You'll get different stories from different people depending on their leadership and how they're kind of running things to fill your time and what your mission is and what their taskings are that are going on. What happens if no family is there on family day? It may depend on the drill sergeants, but a lot of them is what they'll do is you'll be able to just go do stuff on your own, right? That's how I was. My family didn't come out to Georgia when I graduated from basic training at Fort Benning. So me and a few other people that were in the same situation didn't have family come in. So we went to the mall in Columbus, Georgia, or whatever it was, I think. And we went to the mall, wandered around, went and saw a movie, and then we had a certain time we all had to be back at, whether you're with family or without family. So that was a pretty common one with us. There might be some drill sergeants that are maybe really strict and be like, hey, if you don't have a family here, then you have to stay in the company area, you stay within a certain area, kind of a thing. It may vary, but that's like some of the stuff. Usually you still get to do something, have a little bit of freedom, even if you don't have family showing up. Is it hard to get the MOS of a 12 mic firefighter? It is. Yeah, it's really hard. The main thing with that is that it's because there's not a lot of slots for that, right? You don't have, like on installation, you don't have a lot of firefighters in the military side. Some of them are civilian, some of them are military, but nonetheless, there may only be a couple of fire stations, and each of those fire stations don't need a lot of firefighters at each one, right? It's not the same like infantry, right? When you have infantry, that's a lot of people in the infantry, right? So you have a lot more availability for 11 Bravos, where that MOS is a 12 mic, very, very few numbers. So you have to wait for someone to either get out of the army, get promoted, something, before you're eligible to kind of fall into that MOS. And that makes it a little bit challenging. So yeah, it's a pretty challenging one because you need someone to get out of the dang army or something, or get promoted so you can move into a slot. Why can't the MOS not be available even if you meet the MOS requirements? Just because the MOS isn't available. So I guess this is a two-part question here, Nasir. So yeah, I mean, you could qualify for the MOS, but if there isn't a slot for you to go into, you can't go there. So that's usually the main thing. Usually, if when you have someone who meets the requirements for the MOS but still can't get the MOS even though they meet the requirements, it's because there isn't an opening. Right. So it's like if you're trying to get a job at, let's say, just as an example, Best Buy, right? And you want to be the manager. Well, we don't have any manager openings, even though you qualify for it and you got the experience that we need. We already have managers. I don't need you. Same kind of concept, right? Oh, joining the Army in July, and I live in an apartment. So once I join the Army, I won't have a permanent address. So is it okay I give my relative's address? But it's not on my ID. We got super chat too. We'll get to that super chat here in a second. Yeah, that would probably be the best way to do it, right? Is to put your home record is what they want. So you put like someone that they could be able to send something to if they needed to or whatever, right? So yeah, you would probably put like your mother, father, parents, whatever, someone you trust as your home of record. You wouldn't want to put down like your old apartment address or anything else like that. So yeah, super chat. Hooah! Oops. Holy hand grenade. Just when I thought I was free of change of command ceremonies for a while, we just had one at drill. Damn. Can't even escape change of ceremonies in the reserves, huh? That's rough. Holy hand grenade. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. You know the thing I always hated about change of command ceremonies is because I'm tall. I always got stuck at the very front of that damn formation. So that part always sucked. You get like a fly landing on your nose, you get a little itch that comes out of nowhere, and you can't scratch that sucker. If you're a little bit farther in the back because you're shorter, you probably could, carefully, bring your hand back down and probably be good, right? But when you're at the front rank, even the second one probably, can't get away with nothing. You got to stay completely still. I hated that so much. So, but thanks for the super chat. Holy hand grenade. Appreciate you. Let's see, where do we leave off? Currently in the Marine Corps and the process of an inter-service transfer. Do you know anyone that has done it, and what base is the most family friendly and have nice base housing? I don't think I've known technically anybody that did I've known people that have like transfer service, right? That have gotten out of the Marines, went to the Army. For the most part, usually it was pretty good for them because they said that like they still had to usually go AIT. They don't have to do basic or anything like that, but they had to go to AIT. But you're treated way different when you're at AIT compared to the new soldiers, how they're getting treated. So that was pretty nice. And then you could still keep your rank. As far as like housing in the best place, I don't really know too well. I mean, higher ranking on-post housing at Fort Carson is pretty good. But outside of that, I really don't know what on-post housing is like for other installations to give you a good idea as to which one would be the best one, kind of a thing. I don't know. But good luck to you. Hopefully it goes well. Watch Team Sports YouTube channel. You will not regret it. Best Army YouTuber. How are you gonna say that when you're here? I should just stop answering your questions now. If that's the best Army YouTuber, then you should be at his live streams. I like Team Sports. Team Sports is good. You're not supposed to come to my channel and say he's the best Army YouTuber. At least keep that between you two. Why you gotta hurt my feelings like that? It's like telling which kid is your favorite kid. You're not supposed to do that kind of a thing, man. You should know better than that. Just for that, you said, did you create a video on how to be successful at AIT? Just for that last comment, Nasir, I'm not going to create a video about how to be successful at AIT. Figure it out for yourself. Yeah, before that one. So this one. Let's look into that one though. But is there CQ and ACG after AIT? I mean, yeah. I don't know what ACG is. Is that FireGuard something like that? But you have CQ. Yeah, CQ is the thing you'll definitely do after AIT at your units, staff duty, all that stuff for sure. Recruiter always gives me the same apt practice test with few questions, and I fail every time. So how do I pass it? Just studying. You just got to do a lot of studying. You got to go and there's apps, there's books, there's all sorts of things. So I would just recommend just doing a lot of those kind of things through the repetitiveness. Eventually, hopefully, you should get better. Mainly focus on the areas like you're struggling in that maybe you fail commonly. If it's math, which is a pretty common one usually people struggle with, then study math really good and work really hard. So yeah. How many have you smoked as an NCO? I don't know if I've really ever smoked anybody. I was always pretty chill. Maybe if you pissed me off, I might get angry kind of a thing and give you the shitty details. I don't think I really would ever smoke anybody. There might be times where like someone was late and I told them, hey, knock out 20 push-ups kind of a thing. But other than that, I don't know. I don't think I ever really smoked anybody. Should I enlist into combat medic or culinary cook? It depends on you. What's your interest, right? Do you want to get into the medical field? Do you want to do culinary stuff? You don't mind the really long hours? So I think it really depends on what you're interested in, right? In my opinion, I wouldn't want to do cook because I don't have an interest in cooking and I don't want the long hours, but I also probably wouldn't be interested in combat medic because I just wouldn't want to be around that kind of a situation. I don't know. So I think it just really depends on you, probably. Waiting on my ACH helmet to come in while I'm waiting. How was your M4 setup? It's pretty good, like for in the Army. I mean, it varied. I mean, I had at one point I had an M68 iron sights when I was a younger soldier. ACOG when I was an NCO. I think that was my second deployment is probably the better setup. I had the ACOG. I had a Surefire flashlight on it. It had a bipod, which I never used the bipod, but it was there. It looked cool. I used the handle grip more than anything. I mean, you hit a little button and the legs pop out, but yeah. Anthony's Pizza is my favorite pizza place in the PX. I heard they got rid of it. Is that true and why? Yeah, they did get rid of it. I liked Anthony's Pizza too. It's always really cheap and it's always good pizza. So I liked Anthony's Pizza. Why they got rid of it, I'm not too sure. I don't know, but yeah, they got rid of it. I don't think it exists in any more of the PX. I think they phased them all out of the PXs. But yeah, it's gone, sadly. Does 68 Whiskey do all the same training as 11 Bravo? No, not at all. I mean, you'll do the same basic stuff, right? There's the first half of 11 Bravo training of OSIT that's kind of like the basic training part of it. And then they go into the OSIT part of it, the AIT part of it or whatever. But 68 Whiskeys will do some of that basic stuff that everybody does. Everybody does that basic stuff. And then they do the medic stuff. So no, that would definitely not say that 68 Whiskeys do the same training as 11 Bravos. Not at all. We got a super chat. VGMR dropping the super chat. I loved Anthony's pizza, cheeseburger pizza. Was that a thing? They had cheeseburger pizza? Seems weird. I would just use it regular pepperoni. I wasn't anything too crazy and wild with it. But it was always really cheap. I mean, for like, I think it was like $2, you get 2 slices of pizza and then pay a little bit more and get a drink too. And bam, you got yourself a nice little combo right there. So that was always the cool thing that I liked about Anthony's pizza was it was cheap, very inexpensive. It was awesome. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. You rock. How are we doing on likes? 40, we got 45 likes. All right. Make sure that if you have not liked this stream, hit that like button. We got a like goal down over here. I always forget how to point. 100 likes is what we're trying to get to, so make sure you hit that like button. See, Jim here has the right idea. Chris is the best arm YouTuber. I don't care what anyone says. Well, thanks, Jim. Appreciate you. Even if it's not the real story, at least tell me that. Don't say somebody else is the best by face. Horrible. I don't know like recodes off the top of my head. So you got 3. Could I re-enlist? I don't know. You could probably easily Google it, and you probably could see the different codes that way. Oops, I messed up on the music. I don't think that song was done, and I tried to switch to the next song. But I don't know. If you Google it, you probably could easily find it. I don't have them memorized. If you join the reserves, can you still be in the 101st or the 82nd? No, those are active duty units. So no, you would not be in the 101st or the 82nd. Those are active duty units. You would be in some reserve unit, whatever reserve unit is closest to you. You'd be in one of those type of units. Super chat from iMystic. Thank you. What would you suggest to split up reservists who want to commission active duty? What ROTC scholarship is out there? Man, you guys ask tough questions sometimes. I don't know anything about like ROTC scholarships. ROTC, really, I barely know much about ROTC in the first place. Much less like how some of the scholarships work. So I couldn't really probably tell you too well. I'm not sure. But someone for split ops type of thing, right? Just keep in shape, right? If the split ops, so you're going to be, you still have to finish high school and do all that kind of stuff before you actually start doing everything. So just make sure you stay in shape. That way when you go off to AIT or whatever, then you'll still be in shape to do the ACFT and everything. But yeah, as far as like ROTC scholarships out there, I don't really know enough about ROTC to really be able to provide you with that kind of information. We got Junior Drizzy reinstating his membership. I don't think I can highlight those, can I? Let me see. No. But holy shit, guys, I've been a member for 18 months. Good job, Junior Drizzy. Good deal, man. That's another cool feature about this mixer here, is that I have an easy to reach mute button. So when I'm taking a drink, you don't hear the slurping sounds of me taking a drink, but everything else still comes through. It just mutes the microphone. So that's pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff with this mixer that I gotta really dive into. Just finished the 6 mile, was it 55-pound ruck march in half an hour? Is it worth it to be practicing this? Because it ain't fun. I mean, it's helpful. I mean, do you have to practice doing 55 pounds all the time? No, you can probably do 35 pounds. Do 35 pounds and go for, a little bit longer, do a 12-mile road march or 10-mile kind of a thing. But it's good cardio and makes it easier for when you do go to like, do more road marches. So that way you stay in shape, and you can be good for the next road march that comes up. So sure. What are the positions available for the reserves? Are you talking about like MOSs? I don't know off the top of my head. I wasn't ever in the reserves, so I don't know. There's certain MOSs that are available, some MOSs that are not. There's a lot of MOSs that are available in the reserves. It's probably a smaller number of MOSs that are not available in the reserves compared to how you would probably try to look at it the other way. So yeah, You'd have to look it up. I don't know off the top of my head. I know you can't do like 11 Bravo in the reserves. You can do 11 Bravo in the National Guard, but not in the reserves. And there's other MOSs too. Sometimes they just have like a reserve equivalent that kind of doesn't go as in depth as their active duty one does. So sometimes that depends too. Do I know what a 13 Romeo is? No, looking it up. No, off the top of my head, no idea. I only have like certain MOSs probably memorized in my head. Beyond that, I have no idea. Now the shop that sells Three Brothers Pizza, expensive and nasty. I don't think I've ever had that. Three Brothers Pizza. So that's what replaced Anthony's Pizza. Interesting. What does 11 Bravo do at OSIT? I mean, there's a lot of weapons training. I don't know everything to be able to specify specifically what they do. I don't really know. I wasn't ever in 11 Bravo. But there's a lot of weapons training. There's a lot of first aid stuff that they do a little bit of to be able to have the basic first aid knowledge. Good afternoon, Mr. Chaos, sir. I frequently smoke the devil's cabbage on a daily since it's legal in Vegas. Would the recruiter turn me down if he knew I smoked a couple days before? Well, you probably would fail the drug test. Because you're going to go off to MEPS and they're going to drug test you, and you fail the drug test. I don't know if they like permanently ban you from being able to join the army, or you just have to wait like a certain time frame. I don't know, but yeah, I mean that would probably be the big thing is you're going to fail the drug test at MEPS, and you probably would have to stop probably like a couple months out prior to trying to join the army, because if you fail the drug test, you're not going to get a join. So it doesn't matter if they're going to ask you. You know, if you did that stuff, and even if you lie, let's say you lie and say, no, I never, touch that stuff. Well, they're going to drug test you at MEPS. And if you fail the drug test at MEPS, you're not joining. Oh, it does actually show right here. It shows, just didn't show the message for Junior Drizzy. I also saw Ivan. Ivan joined. Let me see if I can highlight that. It's right here. Thanks, Ivan, for joining the Chaos Elite. Good times. If anybody of you guys want to join the Chaos Elite, there's different levels of membership, different perks and everything as well. Take a look down below. There's a join button. You can hit it and it gives you a little summary of the different perks and the different levels and all that kind of fun stuff. And you can get a cool rank icon next to your name the longer you are a member for. So, let's see here. Anthony's, I did research and the company statement says revenue at military bases did not meet expenses, so they still have some locations in the civilian world of the states, but no overseas. No more overseas. Interesting. I mean, the pizza was cheap, so I mean, maybe that's the problem. I don't know, but I liked Anthony's pizza. It's pretty good. Fourth ID. Yeah, there we go. My last unit. I hope I can join the Corps one day on a medical waiver. Depends. I mean, waivers are tricky, so it's hard to say. Now that I think about it, I have a Three Brothers Pizza on Highway 77 out here. I can try it there. Let me know. When you finished AIT and got to your unit, did many NCOs tell you you don't have to call me Sergeant all the time, or told to relax when you snapped at parade rest? Same as officers, but sir, ma'am, snapped attention? Yeah. I mean, I think there's certain environments where it calls for it. So you'll probably have NCOs that like maybe they're just bullshitting with you, right? And, you know, you got a brand new soldier that's used to snapping to parade rest when you're talking to a non-commissioned officer. So they'll get to parade rest and they're answering their questions and they're just trying to bullshit with you. And they'll tell you, yeah, hey, chill out, man. We're just bullshitting right now. But then there's other times where if it's something like, hey, I need to see so-and-so and I'm going to give them, tell them what's going on, what I need to get done, then yeah, you should definitely go to parade rest. So there's a right and wrong time of when you can. I mean, you should always, especially when you're first starting off, just always do the right thing. And if someone tells you to, hey, chill out, you can relax, whatever, then cool, because it's a worse situation if you go and you're just doing whatever and not consummate sergeant and trying to bullshit with them and they're not cool like that, and they'll be like, no, get your ass parade rest, right? Now you're gonna get yourself in trouble. So it's best just always to do that. But yeah, there are times where I've had that where you just got an NCO just bullshitting with you, just having a fun conversation, and they'll tell you to relax, whatever, right? And they may not want you to call you sergeant. I don't think I've necessarily had it too much with an officer. Maybe not the like stand at attention thing, or like you're just bullshitting with a lieutenant or something like that. Then it might be a little bit easier. But you still call them sir and ma'am and whatever kind of a thing. So I did have some of that a little bit here and there. It just depends on the situation, really. When was the last time you ate at the PX since you work on post? It's been a few months. It's been a while. Usually the PX is pretty busy, so you have to go a little bit early, and so you have to take a little bit earlier of a lunch. Otherwise, if you hit it right around lunchtime, then it's busy as hell, and lines are really long. There's always some places that are like lines are shorter than other places though, but it's been a little while. I went with another coworker probably good like 4 months ago or something like that. We went to Subway, so it's been probably a good 4 months or so, something like that. A super chat. VGMR with another super chat. You got it good as lower enlisted when you can talk to a master sergeant like you're at a barbecue and your hands in your pockets. It's pretty good. Like I said, when you build like better relationships with like non-commissioned officers, stuff like that, then you can be a little more relaxed. When you're brand new, you can't usually do any of that kind of stuff. You got to pretty much do it by the book, and if they tell you to relax, cool. But for the most part, do it by the book, and then we'll see how things go. From there. But yeah, I had quite a few. I actually something you're supposed to do, right? And if I was still in the Army and it did this, I get in trouble. But we had a lieutenant that we were pretty cool with in one of my units when I was 30th CR, and we would party with him. He had a place on post. I was a sergeant, and a lot of our friends were sergeants. There was even a few of them that were PFCs and specialists. And we would go over to this lieutenant's house on post and party. He had a stripper pole. He had drinks. Get drunk. Crash on his couch sometimes. Totally not allowed. Totally not something you should be doing. And definitely something you can get in trouble for doing. But we did it. I can't get in trouble for it now. But at the time I could have. But he was a really cool LT. He was only one. I think there was only that one LT that I ever had that situation with. Yeah. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, BGMR. Shout out from Fort Riley. Man, good luck to you, man. Good luck to you in Fort Riley. Was it enlisted to be an 11 bang bang? The Army made me an 11 Charlie in basic. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah, it's kind of like a tough thing where they will just put you where they need you, and it's kind of usually the majority of people usually go 11 Bravo, but there's still a smaller percentage that does end up in 11 Charlie, and that sucks if you were hoping to be 11 Bravo and didn't want it 11 Charlie. What trait do you think makes a good officer? I kind of talked about that in the officer versus enlisted thing. I feel like the better officers that I've known were ones that spent a little bit of time in being enlisted, right? Some of the ones that maybe they were in E4, maybe they were enlisted only for 4 years, whatever, maybe for a short amount of time, but still they know what it's like to be on the enlisted side, and they know what it's like to have to do the shitty details and everything else like that, and then went officer, right? And those ones usually were the cool ones that were always like fun to hang out with, or maybe not necessarily hang out with, but to talk to, and you can really kind of relate to them, kind of a thing. So I feel like that's a pretty good trait, is having some enlisted time. Is pretty good. How are we doing on the likes? 54 likes. What are we doing for time? We're at 50 minutes into the stream. It's about another 15-ish minutes or so. Make sure you hit that like button down below, right? Take a look down below. If you have not liked the stream just yet, then make sure you hit that like button. That way we can try to get to 100 likes. We may not get there since we're only just now barely halfway to that, but who knows? Who knows, right? So that's always the goal. Try and get 100 likes. So let's see if we can get the live stream to 100 likes before we end in the next 15-ish minutes or so. My dad passed away, and I think about it every day. Well, that sucks. Sorry to hear about that, Andrew. Good luck to you. Sorry for your loss. Oops. I was told by my drill sergeants that they made the soldiers with a higher GT score 11 Charlies. When they got sent to basic, I was in 11 Bravo platoon for one day, and they moved us to an 11 Charlie platoon. They might have told you that to make it sound like a cooler thing. I mean, maybe that was the case at that point in time. Most of the people I've talked to, it was like random as hell. They just basically grabbed like the first however many people in the alphabet and like, boom, you guys 11 Charlies, the rest of you guys 11 Bravos. I've seen in different ways where they kind of would just like grab a couple ranks and tell them to split off this way. It's from all the stories I've ever heard from people that went to OSIT for 11 X-ray to choose to find out if they're gonna be 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie. Everybody's pretty much said it's pretty random, but there may be some places that kind of have a better system than other places and varies based on the thing. But usually it's a thing where they have the list of like, okay, we need this many 11 Charlies and this many 11 Bravos, so they're just going to do it their own way of to decide who's going to be the Charlies and who's going to be the Bravos usually. Is Cavalry Battalion a mixture of infantry and tankers? It can depend. Sometimes you have infantry, sometimes it's scouts. Some units might have tankers, but usually the tankers are usually in armor units. But I have seen it occasionally where you do have tankers. Actually, I don't think he's in here, but one of our other mods, Gunrunner, I think he's a tanker, and I think he's in a cavalry unit. So yeah, it can happen though. You can have infantry. The common usually makeup. I mean, you have a lot of different MOSs there in the cavalry because you still have to have cooks, you still have to have 88 mics, you still have to have pack clerks, do finances and all that kind of stuff. But as far as like those kind of jobs, it's usually mostly 19 Deltas, the scouts in cavalry unit. But there are a lot of units that I've seen where they also have infantry and they'll do scout kind of jobs with the Bradleys. And then I have also seen some where it'll be 19 kilos, but they still have tanks because of the unit. So it'll vary though. What is it? Mustangs are the best types of officers. Is that the mixture of enlisted with the officer experience? Cop, I already answered your question about the ROTC thing. We already answered that earlier. Is that the same song? Might hit the wrong button. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. So Sergeant Chaos, when I went into Iraq as a deployed Army reservist, we passed vehicle headed towards Baghdad wearing 4 ID patches. What gives? I don't know. What are you talking about? We passed vehicles headed towards Baghdad? I don't know what you're trying to get at here. You're saying you were faster than them and you went around them and passed them? I'm not too sure. Is Fort Lee a good base for AIT? I could not tell you. I've never been to Fort Lee. What was pay like for 88 mics? Were the bonuses worth whatever they were asking you to do? So pay is the same for all MOSs because pay in the Army, in the military, goes off of rank, not your job. So I mean, the pay for 11 Bravo E4 is the same as the pay for a 88 mic E4. So it's all the same. Bonuses, I mean, I got like small bonuses for re-enlisting. I didn't get a sign-on bonus, and some people did get sign-on bonuses. I mean, 88 mic was okay. I don't claim it to be like the greatest MOS. It depends. I mean, it was okay. It was decent. You might have moments where it sucks really bad, maybe moments where it's great, but for the most part, I don't think it was like a horrible MOS, but it wasn't an amazing MOS either. What's your opinion about military members and veterans joining the VFW, American Legion, etc.? It's okay, especially it's a fun time. I never did any of that stuff, but I've known people that do like to go to like the VFW hall to hang out and bullshit with other veterans and have some drinks and have a good time and all that kind of stuff like that. So I guess it depends on you. If you're that kind of a person, you want to do that kind of stuff, you want to hang out at a bar, but you want to hang out at a bar with a bunch of veterans, and that's probably a great way to do it. I was never the person that was really all that interested in wanting to hang out at a bar, so I never did any of that kind of stuff. What's up, Jay the Vorn? How's it going? Hey, Chris, what's up? Hope everyone is doing well. Sorry I'm late. Don't make me do push-ups. It's all right. Just one time, because you're a mod. It's like the NCO's showing up a little bit late. You got to cover for you guys, right? Just don't let it happen again. Do you think deployments will start picking up in the next 2 years? It's hard to tell, right? It really just depends on what's happening. If something sparks up back in Afghanistan to where we send people back, or some other country, that's a hard thing to predict. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but it's possible it could stay the same. So I don't know. You think you could do a video on the MOS of a 91 Sierra? I don't know if I'll actually end up doing like any more MOS Monday episodes. I don't know though. So the chances might be kind of low. I don't know. So possibly not. Sorry, but I've already done the main popular MOSs for the most part, I think. And so most of the ones that we do now, if I try to cover an MOS, it's usually not something someone's interested in. So the views always do really horrible, and the retention rate always does really horrible on those videos. So like the last couple of ones, MOS Monday ones, the PsyOps one did okay, but the other one, I forgot even what it was. That one did horrible. Didn't do very good at all. Poor Leah's tiny. Maybe we already caught up in the chat. Surprise. What are we doing on time? 57 minutes. Make sure if you haven't liked the stream, we got to get to 100 likes in the next few minutes, 5-10 minutes, something like that. So make sure to like the stream. You know what we haven't done? I totally spaced it. Good thing we're still good. We still got the chance to enter for the giveaway, right? For the end of the month. So we should probably do that, huh? We should probably do the giveaway stuff. All right, so let's go with full screen. It's better, right? You got to see my face a little bit better, a little bit bigger of a screen, right? So the giveaway, right? We have this whole Road to 100K giveaway thing. So at the end of the month, we're in December now, so I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing the last live stream of the month will also be the last live stream of the year, which is New Year's Eve. I wasn't originally going to do a New Year's Eve stream this year, but I think we are. I'm still not 100% sure. I'm probably like about 80% sure that I'm going to do a New Year's Eve stream, but nonetheless, that'll probably end up being the last live stream, because otherwise the last live stream for a Sunday was going to be the day after Christmas, and I don't even think I'll probably stream on the day after Christmas. I don't even think we'll do a live stream that day. So instead, the last live stream will probably be the New Year's Eve live stream. So you're going to be having a chance here in a second to enter into that drawing. I add that to a list, and then during that last live stream, I'm going to randomly have some kind of way that I pick somebody from that list, right? But also the key thing is if I pick your name and I check my little roster to see if I have your email address, and I don't have your email address, I'm going to pick somebody else that I do have an email address for. So that's where that link down in the description box comes in handy, to make sure that you're registered. So that way, if I pick your name, I know where to send the gift card to, and you could possibly win a $100 gift card to Amazon. All right. So in order for you to enter in the stream, you can only enter once per stream, but you can't enter multiple times if you come back to multiple streams. Right. So in the chat, I want you to let's do a 5, right? So put a number 5 in the stream, and if one of my mods will be able to capture all those people with a screenshot or whatever, we can capture all those names, so that way we know who's entered so far. And if you are already registered with your email address from that link, you're good to go, right? If you have not done that yet, make sure you do that before the last live stream comes. Otherwise, if I don't have your email address and I draw your name, I have to pick somebody else. All right, so make sure you enter the 5. We'll give a few little bits for people to enter. We'll cut it off, and then those will be the names we capture for this live stream. Also, make sure you hit that like button. 69 likes. So can we get to 100 in the next like 5-10 minutes? Something like that kind of a thing? Maybe? I don't know. So we'll come back to questions though, and then we'll cut off the the entries. All right, so back to your guys' questions. I'm trying to give you a little shit about reserves passing active duty when invading a country. Hey, it happens. Maybe we were being more tactical, Greg. Just think about that. Maybe you guys were like racing to get to the objective, and we were being more tactical about it. I mean, when it was the beginning of the invasion, I wasn't in 4th ID though. I was in Korea during the beginning of the invasion. I think my chat thing got cut off. Because at first I thought that we didn't have any more things, but it appears my little app thing is not wanting to work. So it looks like we've lost the ability to feature your guys' questions. That's okay. I'll just read them from the main chat window, kind of a thing. So. Let's see. Let me find where the thing ended at. Are soldiers allowed to listen to vulgar rap music? Sure, why not? I'm sure that'd be fine. I mean, you probably wouldn't do it in certain situations where leadership can hear you doing that, and in a professional environment type of thing, like you're in the motor pool working or somewhere else working. But if you're in your room, instead of not getting too crazy, then sure, why not? What was it like as a Germany tourist? Chaos? It was okay. I mean, I got to see a lot of cool sights. In the Army, do soldiers get the weekend off? And if so, can they leave and go somewhere like a bar? Yeah, I mean, you're free on the weekends for the most part. I mean, there are certain MOSs where you're stuck working the weekends, and if you're in the field, obviously. But like cooks, I mentioned that before. Sometimes cooks have to work the weekends. But let's say, just as an example, you're in 11 Bravo, not in the field. Yeah, you probably have the weekends off. 88 Mike, not in the field, probably have the weekends off. You're free to go do whatever you want. That's when you're at your unit, not when you're in AIT and basic. And AIT and basic is super restricted. That's the time that you commonly see, and people sometimes think that's what it's always like in the military, and it's not. But once you're at your unit, you're free to do whatever you want for the most part on your off time, as long as it's not illegal, not an off-limits establishment kind of a thing. But yeah, you want to go to the bar, you want to go to a club, you want to go hang out with friends and go to the mall, whatever. Yeah, you're free to do all that kind of stuff. You think there will be a family day in-person graduation sometime in March or April? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. There are some places that are doing that. I've seen, I forget what location it was that was doing it, where in order for families to be able to attend, you have to be vaccinated. So possibly. I think, let me see what we got for, we'll go and cut off the entries. I think everybody's entered. All right. So it looks like VGMR, if we've got from CJ or Evie, whoever, if we've got from CJ all the way down to, I guess we'll still count. Well, we got CJ entered twice, so he only counts once. So Anthony Keyser looks like the last entry. Something like that. So make sure we capture those names and we'll be good to go. I know how to make a holy bartender. Okay, good deal. I was visit a VFW for JRTC marksmanship competition. Not the same experience. Most people go there to drink, get wasted with other veterans. Where did you buy your vest? What you are wearing now? This is just from Amazon. It was I forget who makes it. I don't remember. It's got plates in it, but the plates are like workout plates, not actually ballistic plates. Because I use this for like sometimes doing some workouts and stuff like that. And I figured it's a good prop also for live streams. So, anyone make your day count when the sun touches your army? What the heck are you talking about? All right, we got the entries here. I'm a little bummed that our little app stopped working. I could probably stop and restart it, but probably gonna jack stuff up. We won't mess with it. I'm a big fat guy, and I went to the recruiting center, and the recruiter laughed at me and said I need to lose weight. I mean, there is weight standards, so you might want to look it up and see, what the weight limits are for your height, because it does vary based on your height and your age as well. So yeah, I mean, if that's something you're really interested in doing, is joining the Army, then make sure you get within those height standards, because they don't want to waste their time with trying to put someone in the Army if they can't, right? If you don't meet the requirements for the weight standards, then they're not going to be able to get you in the Army anyway. So it's possible for that reason. I don't really know. I don't know. I'm active right now, and I wanted to get into school. Oops, chat moved on me while I was trying to read that. Get into school online. Any tips? I want to use the Army resources that they offer. There's a probably give it your leadership. I don't know. There used to be like a website where you can go to and you can do online courses while you're in the Army. If you're on, are you an active? It said, yeah, you're an active. And sometimes there was some different website that you could go through to do some stuff that they would pay, the Army would pay for, and you could do some online courses. But definitely check with your leadership too, because you don't want to be in a situation too where you go and you're taking these online courses and you have like a specific date you have to do a final, and you're going to be in the field and you're going to miss that date, and then you're kind of screwed, and you're going to fail that class, because usually if the Army is going to pay for it, you have to pass it, and if you fail it, then you have to pay for it. So I would just suggest get with the leadership. I don't know like the current website that they use anymore for the online courses that they used to have that soldiers could go through and they get paid for. So definitely try to check with leadership on it, and hopefully someone can either look into it for you, give you some better information, and make sure that you're not going to screw yourself over and try to enroll in some online courses when you're about to go off to like National Training Center for like a month or something like that, and then you'll be screwed. So definitely check with leadership. Does the Army have a school where someone doesn't yell or smoke you at any point? Your basic school. So like if you went to like a hazmat school and certain other little just specialty schools, those ones probably they don't. But yeah, you go to air assault, you go to airborne, you go to ranger, NCO academies. Well, not like a little bit during like the first one to make E5. Now it's called the basic leaders course, right? When you go to the next one, the advanced leaders course, I did the old version of it, which was called BNOC. We didn't get smoked at all during that one. We did PT in the morning, but that was it. So I mean, yeah, some of the higher up leadership courses probably don't do any of that kind of stuff. Got Greg S joining the Chaos Elite. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for joining Chaos Elite. How much time we got left? A little bit of time left. All right. What do we got for likes? 74 likes. Hit that like button down below, guys. If you have not liked the stream, make sure you hit that like. Probably won't get to 100, but hey, maybe we can get it closer to 100. How's the 25th ID doing nowadays? I've never been to 25th ID. I'm the man. Well, thank you, Sebastian. I want to join the Army, but I'm afraid I'll just be miserable the whole time. So, like, I'm always honest with everybody that wants to know about the Army and stuff like that. That could be a possibility, right? There is no guarantee that won't be a possibility. So it's tough to say. I mean, it's really hard to say like if you're going to have a great time or a bad time, because that'll vary based on where you're stationed at, who the people are that are above you in charge, and what their leadership style is like, and a lot of other factors. I mean, you could possibly join and have an amazing time and be the greatest thing in your life. It could be something neutral. That's kind of how I feel, where I had ups and downs. So I'm kind of neutral about it. I don't feel like it was the greatest thing, but it also wasn't the worst thing. And then you could end up being in a situation where it's the worst thing ever, and it just sucks so bad and you regret every minute of joining the Army, kind of a thing. There is no real good way to be able to tell which side of the ball that's going to end up on, or whatever, right? To be able to decide if you're going to love the Army, hate the Army, or be somewhere in the middle. You sometimes just have to experience it and hope for the best. And if it does turn out that it's the worst thing and you hate it really bad, then don't re-enlist and get out of the Army and go do something else, kind of a thing. But you are still tied to the contract you have, right? You can't. I wouldn't suggest trying to do anything to jeopardize it to get out early and then kind of potentially screw up some future opportunities for you with other civilian employers, because then they look negatively on you based on your background. So yeah, tough situation. Was it Army Ignited is the website? Yeah, I don't really know a whole lot about it. I don't know if that was the same website like back when I was in. I think it's probably changed since then. But yeah, definitely get with leadership on making sure that you're good to go for being able to take online courses and you're not going to screw yourself over. You have honest and good information, especially for prospective troops. Yeah. I appreciate you. Well, thanks, Greg. Appreciate that. You didn't get smoked at BNOC? Seriously? Ours was like basic training all over again. That's horrible. BNOC should not be like that. I can understand still like the your one NCO Academy for making sergeant being like that a little bit, but BNOC, you're now expected to be more of a higher up NCO kind of a thing, and the focus is not smoking you to make sure you're disciplined. We should have already established that by now, right? So now it's just pointless to be trying to smoke, because it's usually why you're smoking people is for discipline. Make sure that they have, you know, the right mindset and everything that's like that. At BNOC and the other NCO academies at that point, in that kind of level, it's now all about making sure you're a good leader, right? So, but it's my personal opinion, I guess. I mean, if you want to smoke people at schools that aren't with AIT, make a PT plan. There you go. You can kind of do it that way. Let's do a few more questions. We'll be we'll be ending the live stream here pretty soon. Make sure you hit that like button. We're probably not going to hit that 100 like goal, but hey, maybe we'll get a little closer to it. So hit that like button. BLC wasn't that bad doing PRT for an hour over 2 days. PRT evals did a number on my body though. Yeah, it's tough. Many ASI schools didn't smoke you. Some airborne, air assault, etc. do, but I was an MP ordinance for MWS, and many MWSs that didn't have privates didn't smoke. It's good. That's the way it probably should be. When the berets were the official headgear, was it annoying to change headgear to PC back to beret? So like they changed back to the PC right around the time I was getting out of the Army. So I didn't end up doing that. When I was in Korea, we wore the PC, so that was pretty nice, and I got to get away from the beret. But the main thing was like the PC is like super easy just to put on one-handed, right? Slap that thing on, good to go. So if you have your hands full, it's easy to do so. The beret, a little bit more challenging to put on with one hand. I mean, once you got used to it, I mean, you probably could get a little bit better at it, but still nonetheless not as easy as it was throwing a PC on one hand. So if you got your hands full, a lot of times you'd have to put your stuff down, put your beret on, and then pick your stuff back up. So that was always the big pain in the ass. It was a lot more maintenance to take care of the beret compared to a PC. So I mean, that was always the big thing. I like the beret in the sense of like with the dress uniform, I think it looks good. But as the just daily wear kind of a thing with your normal uniform, I don't think it makes sense. So I'm glad they did go back to the PC for the daily wear, and they still use it during the dress uniform, which I feel like that's what they should have done the whole entire time. That was way better one than the stupid cap that you had with the Class A's back in those days. Let's do a couple more questions. I say we're gonna end this here in a minute here. Yeah, see, I talk BNOC from 91 to 95, and while we enforce discipline, we didn't smoke students. Yeah, I don't feel like it's necessary at that level. Evie's off to bed. We'll have a good one, Evie. Have a great week, great Monday. Let's see, maybe one last question. Let's look for one more final question. By the way, if you did enter in the giveaway today, or you plan on entering in the future giveaways, maybe you showed up at the stream late, make sure you hit up that link down below for the giveaway information, as well as the link to be able to register everything. So yeah, all sorts of links in the description box. Look for one last good question. One last good question in the stream on. Maybe we can do this one. What do you think about taking black berets from the Rangers, give them the berets, give all other soldiers black berets. I kind of think they should have gone with a different color. Like the Rangers already had the black berets, so I think that they shouldn't have done it that way. I think they should have done it where they went with a different color. Maybe the tan ones would have been the good ones, because wasn't that what the Rangers have now, is the tan ones, right? They used to have the black berets, and then once everywhere they went to the black berets, and then they kind of switched to the tan. Maybe the army should have gone with tan berets, and that one could have been the one. So then the black beret would have still been the Rangers, and then you have the green berets for the, for the special forces, red berets for airborne, and then everybody else has tan ones. So that would have been probably pretty good. So I think they should have done a different color than the way they kind of did it, where they just kind of like, hey, we're just going to take over the black beret now, and Rangers, you got to find something else. So that part was kind of a little crappy. Every single NCO above E5 was an ex-drill sergeant. That sucked. It does suck. All right, guys, we're going to end the stream here. I think this is going to end it. So if you guys had a good time, hit that like button. We didn't get it to our goal of 100 likes. We got to 82 as for what I'm seeing right now. Say we got close, right? Not quite where we wanted to be, but maybe next time. It's always good. But hey, I appreciate you guys being here. All sorts of links down in the description box down below for the Discord channel, so you can interact with other people and, talk about the army, talk about whatever you want to, talk about within reason, I guess. In the Discord, that's for free, kind of a thing. If you had a question, you didn't get a chance to ask it, or I missed it, I passed it up, whatever, just hit me up on Instagram. I have my link to my Instagram down below, so you can just send me a message and I'll get back to you. 4 or 5 days, an hour, maybe. Sometimes it just depends on how busy I am. And it's very easy for you to get a hold of me there and ask questions if you want. We'll be back next Sunday. We'll have another live stream. We'll have another chance to enter in the giveaway if you didn't get a chance to enter during this one and all that kind of fun stuff. Eventually, I want to up the production of the live stream to where it's not just me sitting here in a chair and yakking to you guys. Add a little bit more entertaining value to it. It will still include that, because I still want to make sure that, when you have questions, I can answer those questions. But, I want it to be like a fun show, right? The Chaos Live, hopefully at some point we'll get to the point where it's a fun, just live show, right? That has some Q&A, but has some other aspects to it that I think will be pretty awesome. And if you guys want to add some suggestions, and hit me up, on Instagram, maybe the Discord channel, whatever you got. If you guys have some suggestions for things that you would like to see incorporated into it, then maybe we can make that happen, kind of a thing. So nonetheless, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. I hope you guys have a great week. I have to finish up the final edit on tomorrow's video, but there should be a video, I'm assuming, hopefully tomorrow. So we got an MRE video actually for tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. And then hopefully some more awesome, cool content during the week. And then back next Sunday for another live stream. So you guys stay awesome. Have a great one. And I will see you next time. See ya.